I'm Britton LaRue, and this is Moon to Moon. Moon to Moon is a space to consider, celebrate, and share the ways we come home to ourselves, anchor through change, and uncover our power. 1 month, one phase, one loving step at a time. Hello, Moon to Moon. It's Britton. Just finished recording the Celebrating Mars transmission, and that was super fun. This was the most unscripted one. The others weren't scripted either, but I kind of drew in my journal a little bit and had some key phrases, and sat and reflected. And this one, don't have the spaciousness for that. Just kind of sat down, connected to my guidance, and pressed record. Just like Mars, do your thing. Oh, super fun. Love that Mars energy. So before I send you there, reminder that the doors are closing now. The doors are officially closing on Thursday. That's in 2 days from creating this for Emergence Astrology Year 1. A year. That's some Saturn kink right there. And it's about bringing in that slow drip embodiment. Slow drip. Bringing it into your body system, bringing it into your sense of self, bringing it into your relationship with reality and all that is. Because this wants time. Astrology being all about time. So grateful to everyone who said yes so far. I feel extremely honored and very moved. Inviting in all those who love the high sensation of doors closing. That's how I am. I always like to wait until I'm cornered and I just have to choose. Fine. I guess I'll say yes. So for those of you who are that's you, we're moving into your high sensation window. There's 48 hours left. Inviting you in. Come and do this. Come and go for it. If this is calling to you, if this is pulling on your heart, and if you crave this relationship with astrology to your bones. All right, then. I give you Mars now. I'm excited to celebrate Mars. I love Mars. All right, so when I feel into my relationship with Mars, it was just a really important thing that I found out I was Aries rising. which meant learning about Mars and really confronting myself with Mars. It really took me to the places that I was most afraid to express myself, but which were beginning to really start to throb on out at that time. And I had so much shame and fear around getting close to Mars and really letting the Mars medicine take hold. So let me feel into bringing you in with what I mean here. Mars wants you to be super fucking honest and unapologetic that your dick is a compass. This is all coming through live. I had no intention of saying that. That's a good one. What it feels like is quit pretending like you don't have a big dick that is going to point the way to where we're going to go. Don't pretend like you don't have access to that kind of information just because you may not anatomically have one hanging between your legs. And because basically all the conditioning you've ever received has been designed to contain, control, manage, and numb you to this kind of life force information. Mars really invites us into the erotic life. To the erotic life of like, yeah, that. Yeah. It's like body sounds. It gives you this information about what I really want is, well, I just wish it could be like this. What I really wanted, Mars is not super verbal part of us. We can link Mars to the verbal. You know, when Mars gets linked with Mercury or lives through the way of an air sign, Mars can create speech that is very direct, that's very honest, that's pokes, that might be sharp, that might hurt, that might damage, that might destroy. These are all things that can happen with Mars energy. When Mars speech feels good, it is just so hot. It just like drips with this lusty energy. It's very high sensation, Mars speech. But Mars is also very much a felt experience. It's the body's information that can come through as frustration, irritation, annoyance, excitement. Just like, fuck yeah, that. This whole world of warm, hot sensations. That is part of being in a body. And this part of me felt extremely chaotic. Growing up, it felt shameful. It felt unladylike. It felt unwanted relationally. It felt out of decorum, not elegant. It felt inappropriate. It would be embarrassing. And it would be I would lose my safety in some kind of way, the safety of people not really seeing me. I think that's what it is. The safety of not actually being seen. Because Mars is super thrusty. It's real thrusty. So much energy. It's got to go bump around on things, slide up on things, find a way to massage itself, to express itself, to exert itself, to funnel what it has into things, to probe and to poke, to cut, to open, to research, to move through. So from a mystical perspective, we can think about what a fucking mystical energy Scorpio is, and the fact that Mars rules it, This kind of, I'm going in, like poltergeist, the mom puts the rope around her waist and is don't let go, y'all, I'm going in. I don't even know what I'm going to find in there, but it matters to me. I'm fucking going. That is some Mars. Oh, that just felt really emotional. It's very, I'm fucking going energy, I'm going. I'm going to do it. And I think that poltergeist example is always so moving for me because it helps to underline what Mars can do, for what we love and what we care about. Which I guess when I think about it now is an expression of my own Mars, which is in Cancer. I think the mind blower of Mars is it really takes you into terrain that so much of you has been conditioned not to go there. And there's really sacred, beautiful fears about tapping into that energy when you've seen Mars expressed so toxically and unconsciously and in such unhealed, wounded ways. the Mars expression from unhealed places is rough, and to be honest, we have all experienced ourselves through unconscious, unskillful, regrettable Mars energy. And those experiences create so much shame because they feel so far away from who we feel ourselves to be as big-hearted humans, that it's just like, we'll just like numb that shit out and like make it go away, because that's not who I am, And I have just not found that that is a helpful strategy at containing what wants to come through, which is that life force energy. It is life force energy trying to go somewhere. And the only way you can know where it's trying to go is by listening to it and letting it talk to you and giving it a kind of contained space of self-trust that this information is guiding your life force for sacred reasons that are probably mysterious. That just like, I just want to, it's like, how do you know that that is not like some serious deity speech coming through you right now through the body's irritations? Like, that information is so helpful. Information about like what might feel like grotesque feelings like jealousy, or what might feel like grotesque feelings of competitiveness, where you just kick into shame, like in this refusal to see yourself as a complicated person. There's this like bury it, and refusal to be with what that information is trying to help you see about yourself. There's like all this like lodged Mars energy under the surface that is unseen and unconscious to us, but it's still there, affecting how we treat people, how we treat ourselves, and how we participate in the world. It's very like just boxed in, and we're just so afraid of like letting it out. Like, what the fuck will happen? I'm going to screw everything. They'll find these things out about me. I won't be able to pretend anymore. It's going to make me have to acknowledge like all the other stuff, And so for me, like one of the huge portals of this whole Mars journey was getting comfortable with having orgasms and getting comfortable with my eroticism and my erotic life and dreams and desires, and allowing myself to be a person who has lots and lots and lots of orgasms and a very, very, very rich relationship to orgasm, which is like, quote unquote, so basic, but like, it's not basic. I was like keeping all that shit contained. And my erotic life just started to take me places which were the same places as where my soul is taking me. So how are they even different? This is why my mysticism is very horny goat, body, earthy, orgasmic energy. Because to me, my mysticism and my eroticism are inseparable. They're the same thing. Which is why I have been talking about this kind of misunderstanding I see with mystics as being like all like love, light, sound frequency and like beyond the body. And it's just like not true to me. That the mystical life is extremely corporeal. especially when you think of like the actual day-to-day life of, say, a hermit mystic who's like taking shits in the wilderness and like having to figure out how to gather shit together and keep it all going from a cave, you know? Like most of the day is to the business of being in human bodies that need to be fed and need protection and need sources of heat and light and access to water. And I think Mars is extremely helpful in this whole zone because of the bravery of like, I'm just fucking doing it. I'm just gonna fucking go there. Mars is so tied to the present moment, that information that comes through and, you know, just like from this like deeper place. You know, it's animal sounds, grunts, huffs. There's like hisses, you know, growls. That's all Mars. And so it's like we've been so de-animalized. I like that. De-animalized that we like don't engage with these sounds, you know, which include moaning, both moaning for what we grieve for and moaning for what feels absolutely so yum, we want more. Let's remember that Scorpio rules the genitals and Mars rules Scorpio. And so I feel like the mystical life that I'm calling in for Emergence Astrology year 1 is one that will invite you to be in deeper trust with your like animal information and the noises that want to come out of you in an unshamed way. Like, what do we need to do to create a space for this to be unshamed and just give it the respect it deserves? That this information is part of what makes you a big-hearted visionary for this planet, relating to those around you from love and from so much respect, because when you quit compartmentalizing or hiding these parts of you from yourself, you will not want other people to hide or compartmentalize it for themselves. Like, you will want to be encouraging and nurturing and celebrating of the Mars and other people. And like, just like really applauding that as like, fuck yeah, show me that, show me that. Let's get pumped. Get into it. Let's get into it. Like, that is like Mars energy. Let's get fucking into this. Let's get into it. I'm fucking going. That is the energy to where? To our lives, to being here. Like, there's no fucking automaton energy when we're talking about Mars. No, this is like animal. This is not automaton. There's no robot, you know? There's no autopilot when we're living with our Mars out front. There is no autopilot. There's no like, well, I guess we're all just gonna die, so whatever. No. There is no whatever when it comes to Mars. It's just clear. We want it or we don't want it. It's humpable or it's not humpable. I'm turned on, I'm not turned on. I'm so into it, I'm bored. You know, it's like super, super, super honest. And it like really breaks up overthinking, you know? It's like a real overthinking breaker, because the information is either there or it's not there, you know? And if it's not there, well, it looks like you don't really want this, so. But this takes practice, right? Because in the beginning, as we're unfurling, we can be so numb that if it's not there, we might be in a freeze mode. You know, it might be that the answer is just like muffled, you know? And so this is why it's like a slow drip process of taking the time to wake up to higher sensation and be more approachable to the sensations that might move through us. The sensations in our bodies want to know that they can. And they learn that they can by us becoming people who make space for them to. And that requires our attention. That requires practice. That's a devotion that can't be like hurried urgently, you know? But it's a natural repair process, because as I've been saying with so many of these planets, our bodies already know what to do. Like, we know what to do. We've just gotten a lot of conditioning that has made it difficult for us to trust ourselves. And because we have so much centering in our culture over saving time, we don't appreciate that these yummy things, you know, there's no saving of, like, why would we save time? Like, this is what we're here for, is learning how to be here in these bodies. So it's a process that wants to unfurl on its own timing. And it does, you know, it does. It does with our attention, especially when we're not being demanding of the unfurling of Mars or the unfurling of any of these planets to do it on a particular timing, because we want it a certain way and we want these outcomes and we want these results. Hurry up, planets, and teach me these things so that I can blah, 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 you know? Compassion for that, because that's coming from shame that thinks we better hurry up and fix ourselves. Or whatever. It usually comes down to so that we can be okay. Ultimately, everything winds down. Where's the root? Where's the root? Where's the root? Where's the root? At the root of it, we're trying to know that we're going to be okay. Which to me is a moon thing. The moon, as it holds so much for all the other planets in the cosmos for us. And the moon is body, soma, and that takes its timing. It's not mental. And so I think one of the reasons we squelch our audacity, and audacity, if it expresses through any planet, it most expresses through Mars. Audacity energy. Tap into audacity energy in yourself as you listen. What does audacity feel like? That's Mars in you. We squelch it. We mute it. Because some part of us has believed over the time, who even knows if we can remember exactly how, that we wouldn't be okay if we express that. And so this is an unshaming process to allow ourselves to trust that this too can be good for us. This too can be made of love. This too can be expressed for love, through love, by love. Most of the time when we are squelching Mars is because we're afraid that we're going to be a bad person. And that when you ever are thinking in your head, good person, bad person, you are in shame. That's the signal. And that's okay. But that's the cue to like remove yourself from this binary that you're setting up, that your parts of you are believing in, and step back from it and do unshaming practices. But Mars, Mars is like, wants us to trust that we don't have to hold back, you know? What are you holding back? Mars wants to know. Mars sends you the signals that you're holding back, and they show up as inflammation, frustration, jealousy, stagnation. There's all these clues. These are the clues of the people who come to my spaces for readings or in community. There's this sense of like, maybe it's not spoken. I want to work on my relationship with Mars, but that's what I hear. And then, so we begin. What is the first loving step to support you in trusting that you don't have to hold back? Hold back what? Your big life force energy, your big dick. Your thrusty throb for being here. Your dick as a compass. It's really funny. It's so honest, you know? It's so honest. For me, I always like to say that if someone was to tell me, oh my gosh, we went back and we checked the records and actually you were born, 8 minutes earlier, and you're actually a Pisces rising, I would be like, thank goodness that it was wrong, because I got to live life as an Aries rising, and I believed it, and I went for it, and I took it as a very serious assignment from the cosmos, that I get into it and I go for it and I stop holding back, which meant learning all about Mars and being in relationship to Mars, devotion to Mars and celebration with Mars, speaking words of love and praise about Mars into this world, writing about Mars, holding Mars spaces as my thank you for what I've been able to learn about myself and about what's possible when Mars is given the space to express through me. So if this is resonating for you, I'm inviting you to come into the Emergence Astrology Year 1 container now or in the future. I hope that this has been supportive to you, listener. Thank you, thank you, thank you. If you've enjoyed this series and you've never left a review for Moon to Moon, I would appreciate it so much if you would do that now. So grateful to be speaking with you through Moon to Moon. Thank you, Mars.